Hey everyone, Mr. Smith here. Gonna go ahead and do another video here in my classroom real quick. That way I can upload it and it can get up to you guys as quickly as possible. Well, we finally reached this point, guys. We are going to be going into the final operation, and it is the hard one. It is division. Of the four, in my opinion, division is the hardest of the four operations, but that does not mean it's impossible. You are going to be able to learn how to divide quickly and fluently, just like you did when it came to multiplication. Yes, it will. Again, I can't stress it enough. It will be tricky, but it is doable. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So, division is essentially the opposite of multiplication. Just like addition and subtraction are opposites, multiplication and division are opposites. When you are dividing, you are breaking a large number into groups of equal parts. To divide, it is important to have a strong background with multiplication. Particularly when I say this, I'm talking about times table facts, because knowing those is going to make doing long division, which is what we're going to be doing here, a lot easier. But you can also recall your fact families from 3rd grade. So for example, let's look at 25 divided by 5. I can work it backwards with multiplication. So instead of writing it like this, I could change 25. 25 stays the same. My division symbol will be transferred to an equal symbol. My 5 stays, and my equal symbol will be turned into a multiplication symbol, and I still have the blank. Now it looks like our missing factor multiplication problem. So if you think about it, 5 times, if you ask me, I think it's 5, would give you 25. So logically, 25 divided by 5 results in 5. And that's using your fact families. This type of strategy will help us do larger problems in the future. Now, as I mentioned, the first strategy we'll be using is long division. Parents, we all know this one very well. It was not fun growing up, but usually, in my opinion, you can't beat the classics. And in my opinion, long division, in my opinion, is the easiest one. But there are other strategies that I'll be showing. So, again, my opinion. So, once everyone sees the strategies they'll be learning, we'll see which ones they like. So let's look at the following problem: 63 divided by 3. Well, to break it apart, 63 in the problem is known as the dividend. That is the number we're dividing or breaking apart into equal groups. 3 is the divisor. That's the number of groups we are dividing by. So we're taking 63 and we're distributing it into 3 groups with the same amount in each group. Now, the amount in each group, which would be our result, is known as the quotient. So, dividend, divisor, quotient is our vocabulary for now. There is another one called the remainder, but we'll get there when we have to cross that bridge. So let's go ahead and solve the problem. I'm going to write a division box. I'm going to put 63, our dividend, in the inside, and our divisor 3 on the outside. Now, the strategy I showed the kids when doing long division kind of makes it a little bit easy to remember. I introduced to the kids the division family, and to recall the division family is very straightforward. You have dad, mom, sister, brother, Rover, or the dog, and we have the cat. My stomach growled there a bit. Sorry if you heard that. So, dad, if you noticed, the capital letter in each of them stands for a step in division. Dad is divide. Mom stands for multiply. Sister stands for subtract. Brother actually stands for what's called bring down the next number. Rover is a 2-part person. It means either we repeat the division process, or Rover can be the remainder. And cat is our final part, which stands for check work. So those are our steps. So let's go ahead and use those here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to split my place values. So I'm going to have two columns. I'm going to write a multiplication symbol in the corner. And now I'm going to work this problem out. So, oh, please excuse my finger, my hand, trying to get a better grip on my camera. And it's not working that well. Let's try something different. We'll go like that, old school. Holding it like we used to do. Now, the question is starting with Dad. If you recall your division, if your multiplication facts, 3 times what gives you 6? Well, I can get 3 times 2 gives me the 6. So that was Dad divide. So I'm working it backwards. 2 groups of 3 from 6. Now I'm doing Mom multiply. Well, I just mentioned 2 times 3 is 6. So now that I'm at Mom multiply and I just did it, now I'm at sister subtract. So 6 minus 6 is 0. Now I have the next step, which is brother, which is bring down. So I'm going to bring down the 3. That's the next number in the second column. Now, when we get to Rover really depends on what you are doing. In order for Rover to be a remainder, all the columns at the top of the division problem have to be completed. And in this case, we still have 1 column left over, so Rover cannot be the remainder. Rover means we have to repeat the process all the way back to Dad again. So we're going to go ahead and fill out that second column. Well, I have 3 now instead of 63. So I'm going to ask myself, how many groups of 3 can I get from 3? If you said 1, you are correct. It is 1 group. So now I'm going to take that 1 in the second column and I'm going to do Mom multiply. I'm going to multiply what I got in the column times the divisor. So 1 times 3 gives me 3. And just as I mentioned, after Mom multiply, so we do sister subtract. So we subtract 3 from 3, and that leaves us with 0. Now, at this stage, the next 2 steps are a little different. Unfortunately, we can't do brother bring down because there is no digit for us to bring down anymore. We're already at the end. And then for Rover, in order for Rover to be the remainder, all the columns have to be complete. And in this case, both columns have a number in them, a digit. And so now we can look at the number here at the bottom. Since it's 0, you would say that 21 has a remainder of 0, or you can just scratch it out altogether and just say that it's 21 with no remainder. Are we done yet? No, we are not. We are going to go ahead and do the final step, which is CAT, which is check work. So what I'm going to do is, since just this stuff's here and I want to cause like a little bit of a sandwich, I'm going to write my quotient 21, which is up here. That's our quotient. Just to break it down again, 63 was the dividend, 3 is the divisor, and our quotient, which we just found out is 21, is right here. So 21 times 3. And the reason why we do this is because in order to undo division, you have to multiply. Just like to undo multiplication, you have to divide. So recalling our boots only strategy, 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6. Since these two numbers are the same, we can finally say that yes, 21 is the quotient of 3 and 63. So this is going to be a 2-part series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these problems here. I'm going to leave it here for a few seconds. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to get out pen and paper. And with parents, you can do this with your child or children. You can do this real quick as a quick example. Go ahead and solve these division problems real quickly. And in part 2, I will put down the answers for you. So I will see you in a little bit.